Well,
Get it away.
guys, I'm gonna tell you all now. Y'all have missed a show before the show. I'm sorry it happens this way, but welcome yet again to the 51st episode of the Made in Dreams podcast. As you can see, we are joined today by two special guests from MM. First, we all know him as the captain. We all know him as the captain, Tom Al Dente, aka the King of Mahogany, the man we
That was
all
so
believe
good.
in, Tom Dent.
Oh,
How you doing, my friend?
oh, well, good man. How are you?
You know, living another day, the dream.
It was
say.
so good to see. Good, yeah, man. It was good to see myself as a ketchup bottle about. Jen? Have you played the Scary Biscuit? Tom
I
Al
dipped
Dente
in a
game?
little bit today, and oh my goodness, I
It's
don't know
amazing,
how.
isn't it?
I don't know how Scary Biscuit keeps putting out new stuff. It keeps blowing my
good.
mind.
He just lives on
prolific.
dreams. That's it.
Yeah.
They just
Prolific.
live on dreams.
He definitely doesn't
loved
have
it
the
so
hang-ups
much.
I have. So,
Mad
but
respect.
also,
Shout out.
shout out to Scary Biscuit. Is that what we're about? Scary
We're
Biscuit.
shouting
you-
out, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Biscuit.
also joining us today for the first time on the podcast, and just as beloved in the community as Al Dente himself, we have the Queen of Imps and once upon a time Princess of Print, Jen Simpkins.
What
Oh
an
my gosh,
intro.
you've done your research, man.
He is so good, isn't he?
You have
That is
done
a
your research. I'm very impressed.
Great intro.
It is very cool to be on the podcast. I'm so excited.
It's
a privilege to have you here.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Now, as always, joining me is the Shadow Master himself, the Iron Embargo of Dino, the nebula that might as well be a black hole because he won't let us release anything from Dino. I'm just joking. I'm not joking.
Damn.
It's Jamie James, ladies and gentlemen, a.k.a. The Crown. How goes it, bruv?
Very good. Very good.
All right. Well, I think we should just go ahead and push on, if you will. Jen, it's your first time on the podcast. Tell us how you ended up here, for better or for worse.
On the podcast?
Yes.
or in London or at MM? Yeah,
all of
the
it.
podcast.
Where were you born? No, I'm just waiting.
What's your bank account number?
Yeah. What's your national insurance? What's your mother's maiden name?
Yeah, show the passport. I arrived on the podcast because it was the 50th episode, and we were due to come on, but we had a couple of things come up last week, so I'm here now basically to do a little bit of belated celebrating. Yeah, and I'm very excited about it. Thank you for asking me on. Thank you, Tom, for coming on with me and making sure I behave myself. Appreciate it, because I can't trust myself.
No.
Who knows what I'd do? It would be crazy.
Well, I guess start again with the journey of how you got to MM then.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness. I've wanted to work at Media Molecule for a long time, I feel like. Because I feel like with everyone in the Dreams community, I've just been a massive fan of their games, right? For a long time. Played Little Big Planet, played Tearaway. Tearaway Unfolded is so cool. Like, the Vita, shout out to the Vita, which is one of my favorite. I'm a handheld person, basically, if you don't know that about me. So I'm a big PlayStation Vita believer. Rest in peace. But yeah, like, that just made me absolutely fall in love with the studio. So I was always a fan of their games. And I was a fan of games in general. So I went into video game journalism. I decided like halfway through my university course, basically, that I was like, what should I do with my life? I'm doing English literature. What am I supposed to do with this degree? Loads of people are like, what kind of job do you go into with that? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just the only thing I'm good at. Can't do maths. So yeah, like about halfway through, I was like, hey, I like writing and analysis a lot. And I really like video games a lot. And I've been playing them my whole life, basically. And then I sort of suddenly had this realization that was a job. And so everything I did since about 2012, 2013 onwards was about getting into writing about video games for a living. So I did that. I did that for nearly 6 years. and it was great, and it was very hard work. There were lots of ups and downs, and I really enjoyed it. But part of my job was like getting really, really close to the people making the games, interviewing them about their jobs, starting up friendships with them, working on cool projects with them. And, it wasn't very long before I was like, it would be great to work at one of these places and actually work on games and work on the things that I love instead of covering them, or in addition to covering them, which is what I'm doing now. So what happened there was I ended up applying for a job at I actually applied for a content curator role, which was the job that It's All Star was applying for, the tenure. So I did not have a chance, obviously. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? A legend. So I applied for that job, but to my surprise, very, very shortly after I got a call and they were like, we actually maybe think this role isn't quite right for you, but we'd like to talk to you about something else. And yeah, we just got talking and I essentially pitched in my interview, like what I would bring to the team and like what kind of areas I thought the kind of comms side of the team at working on Dreams could flesh out, like using my skills. And they went for it. And I was like, cool. And here I am. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'd count myself extremely lucky. Yeah, it's rad. I mean, great place.
You've always been on the writing side, but you have, or it seems like you may have the drive to actually want to make games yourself. Would you say that's true? Fair?
Yeah, for sure. So I've always been tinkering around in game makers of all kinds of things. So that was why I was Dreams was basically highly anticipated for me because it was another one of those game making tools. So I've used a lot of Twine, I've used a lot of Bitsy, I've tried out Game Maker, Unity, all these kind of things. And so I was always working on like my own little like game making projects. And I absolutely love doing that. I think lots of people who are fans of video games, right? They're like, oh, I'd like to have a go and sort of see it from the inside. And especially when you're a journalist as well, it actually pays to have a go at these kind of things so that you can contextualize what the people that you're talking to are doing all day. Yeah. And it's great, right? It's great when you make something and you make it work, and it's even better if you put it out into the world and it has an effect on people. So yeah, like that was a huge part of the reason why I wanted to come here, was because like I believe so strongly in like giving as many people as possible the opportunity to do that as easily as possible. And that is like what Dreams is all about. So I was just like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. I want to hype up the tool, and I definitely want to hype up all of the amazing people who are being really overlooked, I think, like working in this very particular engine and making like incredible indie games. So yeah.
So what you're saying is it's only a limited amount of time we have for, the rest of us to get MPs or do anything, because the first gen exclusive is just going to take over Dreams.
When it drops, it's over. It's over for y'all. No, absolutely not. I think I made a text box close the other day, and I was unbelievably excited, but that is about my level. I did some logic to make a text box close. That's about it.
You did your announcement. Your whole like I'm joining was done in Dreams.
That's true.
That was all done in Dreams.
It was so cute.
Oh, it was like very simple, and I spent a while on it. I knew it was going to be like a couple of weeks or something before I'd tell people that where I was moving on to. But yeah, that was loads of fun. That's why Dreams is so cool. I was like, I gotta be a bit extra about this. It's my dream job. So
it's only fitting. It was your dream job working on Dreams, so the announcement had to be made on Dreams about the dream job of working on Dreams. It just had to.
Yeah,
That's great.
you wouldn't have been overdone if you had just flown on like a chrome helicopter blasting "You Can Hate Me Now" out of it. It would have tracked. People would have understood.
Firing guns in the air.
Oh! Well, no, you got to come over here to America for that. But that's
Yeah, I wouldn't get away with that here. Maybe a couple of knives. That's about it.
A couple
That's as far as we go.
Yeah.
Just me and a big sword. Like, I did it.
just as how would you do it? I think I would have to do it as like one of the drone shots sweeping across the rooftops, and you just see her with a sword up at the top practicing her kata. It would be
Swinging it around the
perfect.
top of my head. Yeah. Well, who knows?
Brilliant.
If I get a title change or something, I'll
Absolutely.
consult with you on the on the announce. Who knows?
Oh,
There's
hey.
some time.
Hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So, it's been a long time, Tom, since you've been here. At least it feels like a long time. A lot's happened in the world.
Yeah, I was trying to. When was it?
God,
Was it last? It was this year, right?
It
It was
was
the end of season.
No.
yeah. It was the I think it was the debut of season 2.
Yeah, the debut
you-
of season
Debut.
2. Yeah, it had to be. I think it might have been before the turn of the year. Honestly,
I
It's
think it
time
must
to-
have been
so.
December, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it
Was
was,
it?
done
When I started.
because I think my time scale is basically how big my dog is now, and I think she was
I
just
love
a
it.
puppy. She was like a little dog because I remember having to be like, right, I'm going to go on this thing now, 8 o'clock. I need to make sure she's going to bed and she's fine. So I think, and now she's huge. So it's at least been one dog's lifetime.
Well,
One,
yeah.
one
dog's lifetime.
That's how we measure this now. Okay.
So-
Yeah.
And I guess from there we'll go into my special question.
Uh-oh.
Are you guys
sweating.
ready?
Here
Are
we
you guys
go.
ready?
Oh my gosh,
Okay.
I've only had legends.
Okay. So let's start with Jen. If Tom were at the edge of a black hole, still able to be saved with your editorial space prowess, but tomorrow's Insider manuscript, which if submitted on time could win you an honorary Lego Hall of Fame indoctrination, and that's on the opposite side of the black hole's edge, is
Lego
it Tom
Hall of Fame.
or the manuscript?
Lego Hall of Fame. What on earth have I written that would warrant that?
Yeah.
See, and now I'm worried for Tom because I'm so curious to know what on earth
Kick
that
me.
is.
Kick me in, man.
can't let-
Wow,
I
don't just
can't.
save the manuscript. Help me go in.
Yeah. Is there an option to jump in with him? Because I'm a big Outer Wilds fan, so I've fallen into a black hole or two in my
Well,
time.
before you-
figuratively.
Before you sacrifice yourself, let's go over
Okay.
to Tom's question. Same setup. But
Right.
you ready? Okay.
Yeah.
But an unseen season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine is on the other
Right.
side, and
Shit.
a future MCU 40 movie Blu-ray collection. It's Jen or the media.
Bye, Jen.
Jen. We're both jumping. I think
We're both
jump. I think we jump for each other.
We would. I think we would
Yeah.
sacrifice ourselves. I think it
And
would be
we'd
real
hope-
emotional. We would like look into each
Yeah.
other's eyes, and I'd be like, "Dude," and you'd be like, "I know," but and vice
man.
versa.
And we,
Brilliant.
well, I think we hope that the universes that are on the other side are in the same place because then we
Right?
can hang.
Okay.
Then we can hang.
Okay.
Like, is
I
a
mean,
black is
yeah.
a black hole deadly? I don't know.
Exactly.
you don't know.
know.
I don't know.
No one
Science
knows
degree.
anything.
You get
Well, I'm a-
spat out
You
somewhere
don't know.
else, right? Sort of
Yeah,
thing.
I think so. Oh, we hope.
Yeah.
well,
No.
Jamie,
We'll
Jamie,
take a little risk.
I need you to aspire to make me feel this way. Okay, they just sacrificed things that, and I feel like, Jamie, I don't know. If someone told me like I could get my hands on like the next Matrix trilogy.
The next trilogy.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
The next
the thing for Tom was the future MCU movies. 40
Yeah.
40 future movies.
40 future.
I don't know,
That's a lot
man.
of years.
We might be reenacting Titanic. I might peel you off that wood, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I might have to be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Just
pry him
I
off.
feel
You know?
betrayed.
there's no room for you on here, even though there's like a whole section.
The way to do it is
There's no room, even though there's a whole space.
right
Yeah.
here.
the door is too small. It's too
Oh,
small.
boy.
It's all about the in the now. It's all about in the now.
I
So,
feel
yeah.
hurt.
So I
I
think,
feel hurt, Will.
yeah,
You hurt
I
me.
think we
You
sacrifice
hurt me bad.
ourselves.
Awkward.
Come
Very
on, bro.
awkward.
If it was the other way around in that future Matrix trilogy, because I know you love the Matrix as much as I do.
I do.
Come on.
Well, you know what? 51 episodes. That's a lot of episodes, guys. You should be proud, but
Yeah. That's
if it ends because of this, then
If it ends for the
that's just life.
Matrix. If it ends
Like,
for
yeah,
the Matrix.
The Matrix.
I mean, come on. It's
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If there was 3 new Matrix movies involved, yeah, you'd probably be kicked in that hole before you could even say bye.
see, and I appreciate that. I appreciate it. I feel like we both see.
Nothing.
We're actually agreeing on this. It's fine.
Yeah, see, y'all are held together by community and love. We are held together by our love of the Matrix, and therefore, when the Matrix is on the table,
That's it. It's,
You know?
that's it.
All
We
bets are
already
off.
know
All
what's
bets
going
are
to
off.
happen. It's just
Let
like
it
this
be.
is it. Do it for Neo. It's okay.
yeah,
It's all right.
you have to be the one.
Nothing if not honest.
Yeah.
Nothing if not honest.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
the way
That's
it
the
has to be.
foundation of any good relationship is radical honesty, you know. So
Yeah.
I
It is.
appreciate that.
So
Yeah.
what do you guys do when you come back home? Because MM is a job, and it's I'm sure you love your job probably more than most. But when you come home and you get to I guess you don't turn dreams off. But if you get to turn dreams off and just relax, what do you guys do? I'll start with Tom.
Yeah.
Jen.
No.
Oh, me?
Tom,
Yeah.
go for it.
Yeah, it's fun because so like I guess it's interesting because my job in particular is so always on because like my social if we look at the social media aspect, right? Like I don't have separate accounts. Like some community managers will have separate accounts, and I really respect that. Like I really like because it's like you when as soon as you go into this kind of role, you have a very short window to decide how much of your life you're going to like combine with everything. And I really quickly was like, I don't mind. I will just have the one, but mainly because I get stressed out enough managing a work account and a personal account. The idea of having another one. So in that respect, it's actually like near on impossible to always sort of like to switch off. But luckily in this kind of community, that's fine because if you look on social media, you're only going to see nice things. So I think it is hard, but when I do switch off, then I will I really do switch. Like I'll be switching everything off over the next couple of weeks because I'm away. But I think when I do when we end the day, I will just sort of step away because we're looking at computers screens all day, so it's quite a lot. So you need to go out, you need to walk the dog, you need to go to the park, go shopping, but then I'll probably just play games. Play again. Obviously, yeah. Back to the screens after an hour or so. No, I have a very fantastic partner, soon to be wife. So it's nice to. I keep saying
Tom's
it.
getting
I keep saying to try and pinch myself, and to be like, it's happening. It's happening. So it's nice to spend time with, but we're both very similar. So like she's a massive Marvel fan. To put into context, so everyone has context. So it's just like hanging out with a friend, like a really really like my best friend. But yeah, it's games, it's music, it's movies, TV. We'll always be into the same thing. Music's probably the furthest thing from all of it that I do, which is quite nice. It's quite a nice disconnect. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day. It's like so much of my life revolves around video games, whether it's work or hobby or like even like discussion. To have something that's not remotely, there's nothing. You're not going to be holding a controller while you're playing guitar. Is a great example of it. So that's probably my go-to if I want to like really switch off. And obviously over the past year and a bit, it's been one of the only things you can do because you can't go anywhere.
Yeah,
I've not been to the cinema in a long time, but that would be one of the places. Amy and I know. So Shang-Chi is yet to be seen.
Same here.
Oh.
Same here. Same here.
No.
Yeah,
It's brilliant.
It's tough.
I love
Don't say anything. I will come over there.
And he actually can get to you. I'm a little
He can.
safer.
Yeah.
I'm a
He
little
can.
safer. So
Yeah, you can just stare me down the camera, Will, and be like, "Here's a spoiler," and I've got nothing. Oh, fine with James is.
yeah. See, I haven't seen it because I'm not rejoining the world just yet. Not yet. Not over here. But yeah. Well, I tried to pick up the guitar again recently, and then realized I had not been playing it enough, and my fingers hurt. So I was.
It'll do that. You have to get that calluses, don't you? It's so important.
Yeah, you got to
Otherwise
teach
it's-
those
Oh, it
fingers.
sucks.
Oh God, Fighting Wordsmith coming in with the 5 tier 1 subscriptions. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Also,
it is. Nice.
Also fellow game guy.
Game guy.
By game guy, I mean job. But we can't talk about that because he also has things he can't talk about.
Plenty of red tape.
Job. There you go. But thank you, sir. I appreciate you. He's stressed out too. Anyway, so and now we'll move on to Jen because I'm gonna go a little deeper because we're talking about MCU. I'm gonna find out what you both love about the Matrix because you love the Matrix. Don't tell me you don't love the Matrix. And
I love the Matrix. It's perfectly fine. So you love the Matrix, Jen. Jen, you love the Matrix.
Say it, Jen.
I admire the Matrix.
I admire.
I'll take it.
I love
I'll
the
take
first
No.
Matrix.
Oh no! Don't. Oh my! She broke the rules. I have
She
another.
did it.
I have another podcast, and the last 3 episodes have been dictated by someone who said that exact statement. Because that is the statement you hear. But you know what, Kataya, stop it. Because Kataya's been laughing at me about this the whole time. This is not the
I've
way.
set everyone off now. Sorry.
Kataya, you did this. I know you're behind
Put
it.
me in the naughty corner.
It's like
You messaged her, didn't you, Kataya?
Conspiring against
it's like
me.
Oh my God. Entropy.
it's like when you ask someone.
Entropy.
It's like when you ask someone if they like it, if they like something, like I can appreciate it, which basically means they really
It's
hate
rubbish. Yeah.
No, the first Matrix is genuinely great. The thing about the Matrix is, and I'm going to blow your minds, I had not seen it, and neither had my partner, up until about 4 months ago. Genuinely. Never, ever, ever watched it. So we sat down and we're like, we're going to watch the Matrix trilogy. Neither of us have seen it somehow in our whole lives. And we sat down, watched the first one. Like, genuinely really cool. Extremely 90s. Like, unbelievable the amount of, like, special effects they were doing. But it was, like, actually properly done stunts, right? Like, not so much CGI. But unbelievable to, like, look at. That, like, is it the shootout bit in the, like, tube station? It's absolutely amazing. Bit on the roof. Crazy. Anyway, the next evening we were like, right, next Matrix. And that one was like, what? What?
Can we
So you
can we just go to what you like? No, I'm dying inside.
But you know, if
You didn't like Reloaded at all.
It's bad, man. It's bad. It's
Really?
like incredibly weird and like incredibly weird about women. Like really uncomfortable. Such a weird watch. Like the car chase scene is the one bit I liked. That was rad. Everything else.
Everything
There you
else.
go.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
I've committed a real foul here, haven't I?
It's
The Matrix.
Look.
One of the you'll educate
Well,
me.
it's
Like after
broken.
this, you can sit me down. You can bring out the PowerPoints. You can take me through point by point. I'm willing to learn.
Actually, I have done it before. As I was telling people, as I was telling people, I would throw before the world ended that the like Matrix parties where basically we would just come up with weird things like Matrix and whole chicken night, and everybody would just bring a whole chicken and cook it, and we'd all just sit there and just basically go from I consider them all one movie, but go through all of it, including the Animatrix, and then I would, open up the shop and explain things to people and take them through all the references and symbolism and all this stuff.
Actually, I've never done anything like that, and that sounds like rad. Like a thing afterwards where you like have an expert break down and then be like, oh, and here's all the like movie trivia. Like I bet with like Lord of the Rings and stuff as well, that would be like rad to do. Like a full It's like a lot of effort. That would be really fun. But that's how we know we're all nerds, as we're like, that sounds like a great night.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I will sit and overanalyze movies. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, tequila and grilled cheese night. And and only the trashiest grilled cheese too. You can't have fancy stuff.
Oh no.
Yes.
My grilled cheese secret is, and I'd say secret, probably everyone does it, is like mayo. Do you use the mayo on one side? So my secret is take the slice of bread and you put the mayo, you like spread mayo on the side, and then you put the mayo side down into the hot pan, and then you put the cheese on top and stuff, and then mayo the other bread, put that mayo like face up, then flip it so it's like mayo side down in the pan, and then you get this like amazing like golden savory kind of crust. It's quite subtle, but like changes the flavor and the texture.
Yeah, I usually use like a butter with a garlic on there to create those sides, and then but you got to use the trashiest thing like American cheese. It's the only thing that goes well with tequila. Yeah, it's the only
what is
thing
American
that goes
cheese? Like,
it's fake and processed like from? America.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
no.
So I want to.
So upsetting.
I've got a question. Yeah. Is our perception of American cheese the same as your American cheese? Like,
I would hope not.
Is there? Because like American cheese to us, it is god awful.
It's like
it's plastic.
It's like a plastic sheet with like minimal flavor.
It's orange plastic.
Yeah,
that's
orange.
edible orange plastic.
See, the only reason I don't think that y'all would have the same American cheese as we do is because y'all actually have like laws against certain bad ingredients that go into food. So it has.
But now
I feel like it has to be different from what we have, because I mean, there's tons of stuff. What is it like 60% of the stuff we have in our stores like is illegal in the UK? It's some crazy number. I remember reading an article about it. It's crazy because there's ingredients that we like are horrible that we put in everything that stuff aren't even allowed in the, on the shelves in the UK.
Yeah.
I think I read it's like we're not allowed to do like chlorinated chicken over here, obviously, because it sounds horrible.
Yeah,
but like in America, there's still chlorinated chicken. But like I think due to like Brexit stuff happening and all that, I think like some of the things are starting to get relaxed. So maybe we'll get your version of American cheese.
I really pray for y'all that you don't.
Pray for us, please. Not the cheese. Like Brexit, come on. Not the cheese.
But no, I've always felt like
leave us the cheese.
My wife fights me on this all the time because I will not sit there and say that to anyone that American cheese is like the greatest thing ever. I'm not going to bat. I'm not dying on a hill for American cheese. However, when it comes to a grilled cheese, maybe it's just because of when I was growing up, it's like that is a grilled cheese to me. If you're using fancier cheese than that, then you should probably be using it to make something else, like a better dish. Like but that's just that's neither here nor there. I guess we should probably get back on point here because
the made in cheese.
I think we are on point.
Yeah, I was gonna say we are on point. I feel like anyone who's read like any of the roundups, particularly in the early days when I was really like I need something to write about. I'm not in the groove yet. There's just a lot of cheese references because I am thinking about cheese like 78% of the time.
That is extremely specific, Jen. I love
it so much. I've had a lot of time to think about it. So I absolutely love it. Yeah.
One of my favorite points of the week is when Jen shares the roundup with us because it's just a descent into madness. Like it arrives at the most perfect point of the week it arrives like normally the day before for us, and it's just the energy around it is so good.
Unhinged
and
is the word you're looking for.
that's a great way of putting it. It's just the best thing. And watching them
thanks, man.
evolve over the past X number of months, because time is a lie. It's just been fantastic.
Time is a
I love
lie.
the roundups are amazing. They are just
Oh,
brilliant.
thank you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
they yeah. Sorry, go
that
on. Then.
crazy. I was just gonna say that like kind of crazy energy is sort of like a tribute to. Obviously, I used to work on a magazine before I worked here, Edge magazine, and there'd always be the pages that you wrote later on in the cycle. It was a monthly magazine, so you had sort of 3 and a bit weeks to make each one, kind of. Um, and we'd always have these like last pages, and there was one that was called like Hype Roundup, and it was very similar to kind of the thing I'm trying on the Insider with the weekly roundup, just like small bits about different games, and 5 of them as well. Basically, I have no original ideas, just like I know how to do this. Let's do it for Dreams. But yeah, we would always do those like latest in the issue cycle, because it's like it's 1 page. How hard could it be? And then you get there and you're so exhausted from like a month of like doing everything that you just lose your mind. And because it's 1 page as well, it's so like inconsequential almost to like everything else. So you just have fun with it and like start making ridiculous jokes and like being snarky and weird and like putting in odd things just so you can like make fun jokes. So yeah, it's like very very in debt to that energy of just going off the rails at the end of a cycle when you're absolutely knackered and being like,
They're
what
so
can we
good.
do? It's like after a very, very busy week of everything we're doing at I just get to sit down and like have a bunch of fun writing about like all of this amazing stuff going on. And every week there is too much stuff for the 5
Cool, though.
slots.
It's amazing. It's just
You-
like you've got that space to just release all that energy from the week of all the stuff you've been doing at and you can just focus it all on one article.
It's really fun, and I hope it kind of feels like a treat for people at the end of the week as well. Like that's what we wanted to do on a Friday, and we hope it's just like something to round off the week when you've had a really like hectic one, and especially with the weekend coming up. It's like what can we get people playing over the weekend? And the thing I'm really hoping for it as well is that it's not just exciting to like us lot in the community, because we're like, oh my gosh, like whose thing are we going to see in the roundup today? Is it going to be a sort of hidden gem? Is it going to be someone we know a little bit more with something new? But I'm really hoping it starts to reach beyond that, and I've got a bunch of plans to help do that. But the idea is obviously to bring people in from outside of the game into the game, which is why we started coding all of those buttons that would be integrated into articles. So it's like, oh, play now, play later. Because the more we can use the site like In Dreams, which is an amazing resource, and that we have so many plans for making it even more of a destination for people. The more we can use that to actually capture that web audience and people who are just reading about games on the internet, the more we can be like, here is just another platform you can come play cool indie games on. So yeah.
We had a episode of, there's a few episodes ago where we were talking about In Dreams theorizing. Don't let any secrets go.
Purely
Okay?
just a theory.
But we were theorizing whether or not In Dreams itself should become a mobile app. Like if Dreams should separate and have its own social network that kind of correlates with the game, and with the new releases that they talked about recently on some, I think it was something that came with the most recent PS5 update, where it's like you can now remote play from your phone. It really I was like,
remote play. Yeah, it was remote play using your cellular network as opposed to needing Wi-Fi.
Yeah. And so we threw up stuff like that. So the idea of In Dreams becoming like even more than what it is really intriguing. At least the community that we speak to.
We're hugely right, because we have the numbers on the back end, of course, and like the majority of the traffic to In Dreams comes from mobile, right? And so, I would love for that to happen. But we're obviously growing right now, and we've got a job we're hiring for now, online content editor, and they'll be part of helping us build out In Dreams. Obviously, right now it's like quite a small team because our web team is like 3 people currently.
Yeah.
Wow.
doing
So the
doing
people that
everything.
the people that run In Dreams and do all the amazing stuff they do on that, it's just 3 people.
Yeah.
That's
And they work
incredible.
incredibly hard. And then I rocked up and I was like, hey, they've hired me to give you like 1 million more articles a month because, we're wanting to expand
That's
our comms and bring more people
insane.
in. And so, now they've really got like even more to do. So bless them. They're absolutely amazing. They've been nothing but brilliant,
Wow.
supportive.
That is
They make sure
such a
all the
shock.
insider content goes up. They built me a CMS to do it.
Yeah.
They're in charge of making sure everything on there gets localized into about 13 languages, I think. So they do an incredible amount. But yeah, like everyone like on that website and like me on editorial in our little 1-person editorial team, that kind of floats between web and community. Like we're probably equally as passionate as you about like really taking advantage of the fact that, hey, all our like traffic is mobile. And it like In Dreams is so great, it's so useful, it's already so integrated into that game, right? And there's so many things that would be so excited to do with it. So, we'd love to do more with it. We're hiring more people. And there are plans already to keep improving it, like just like the Triceratops update the other day. And so, right, it's going to take time to build up to it, but like this is what all this kind of investment is about. We're really excited about all that. I massively believe in it, and I know like our web team also really wants to make it a destination where we can all actually gather together and chat and have that community on the web as well, because I think that's going to be like really important to bringing in new people who are already there and then
Yeah.
guiding them into the game, right? So they can come and
Exactly.
play all of our
I mean,
awesome stuff.
because like right now Twitter is, well, at least for what we found, like Twitter seems to be the hosting part of where the community seems to engage and chat with one another. That seems to be where it's at. Like when I
Yeah.
joined the early access, it was Facebook groups because that was just my go-to at the time, and now I rarely delve into Facebook. But once I realized Twitter was so active with Dreams, it was just crazy to see all these people. And so yeah, the thought of integrating that all with Dreams would be such a cool idea.
Yeah, and like don't get me wrong, right? Like I don't think we'll like have this magic thing where all of this Twitter stuff suddenly gets
Yeah.
integrated into Dreams, but like any way we can make sort of In Dreams become more of a destination for people to go, oh, hey, I want to like read about what's going on in game. I'll go there. Oh, hey, I want to learn how the thermometer works and how to optimize my games. Hey, there's some content on In Dreams about that,
Yeah.
guides and things like that. So
Mm.
like anything like that, I think is going to be a part of making that like web space a little bit more of a destination, like the first thing everyone thinks of when they're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll go there, I'll use that. It's so useful already, right? There's so much like cool stuff up on there, but it's a little buried at the moment. So we're working on like presenting it in a different way so that everyone can find what they need a whole bunch easier. So yeah.
I'm still fascinated with the audio import tool. Like from a technical standpoint of how it works, like you literally sign in, you drag it in and you do your editing on the computer, and then literally you with a press of a button, and it's so instantaneous as well. Like there's zero lag. You press that button and then it's attached to your imp in game. Like it's just incredible how it
Yeah.
works. I love it so much. Yeah, I'll just import anything just to see it work because I'm such a nerd when it comes to things like that. I'm like, look how quick it's moving from the PlayStation, from the game, and it's amazing. It's so cool. Like it
When
is
they
such a powerful tool.
yeah, when they showed us like the send to imp stuff, like just from the creations like page in the office, we were just like, does the what now?
It's so cool.
No, I think because that's one of the things. I think it definitely gets forgotten that it's so linked to the game. It's not just like a website
Yeah, it
that's
is
like
literally
Dreams.
part
It's
of
actually a
Dreams.
companion site.
Yeah.
To the point of like even things like where you submit entries to
Mhm.
chat to our events, like All Hallows Dreams. That's just it's just using the same tech that the game uses for the jams.
Yeah, it's
So that's why
literally the game
that's
that
why
runs.
there's all sorts of issues around it because it's like we can't change anything on the site because we have to change something in the game.
It's
so-
literally
Just-
intertwined then.
It's all interlinked.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But that's
Yeah,
Wow.
that's the potential behind it. Like that's why when I rocked up, I was like, we have to have these buttons in articles, right? Because like
Yeah.
those buttons are like one of the best things about in Dreams.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I use them all the time. And you know, if
Yeah.
you make that part of the editorial ecosystem, like it's more about pulling the game and the web together. And like hopefully we'll continue to do that. And hopefully going to find a few ways of getting people in the game out to the site to like read more about the games and stuff and maybe discover something new that way, and you know, not just having that discovery moment in Dreams,
In Dreams,
but having it also live outside of Dreams, and you just hopefully get that nice symbiosis and like continued loop of people from the outside coming in and people from the inside going out, and yeah, like that's the dream, right? So we're all like working super hard at that because it could be hugely beneficial to like the whole community,
Yeah.
right? If we're just able to get people in that way and retain them that way, it'd be super cool.
Ninja in chat said he watched a new Dreams streamer last night who said Dreams was basically his way to play a regular supply of offbeat indie games affordably and compared it to Game Pass. And when he typed that, I felt like I wanted to see your reaction to that.
Oh my gosh, that's like exactly how I feel, Ninja. And that's exactly why I came on board to talk
Yeah.
about it, because I was just like, this is like such a ridiculous value package. It's
Really is.
unreal. And you know, it's tough, right? Like, I mean, just look at this month, like so many games have come out, so many great indie games, so many like bigger titles, AAA titles, and there's so much to play all the time. And it's like Dreams deserves a chunk of the hype and the coverage, because like you say, every time you jump in, there's just like a new
always
cool,
something new.
weird a
Yeah.
weird idea that you've not really seen anywhere before, which is really interesting. Like so many cool tech demos that I feel like anyone developing outside of Dreams would be very smart to come in and be like, okay, what's everybody doing in here?
Yes.
Because there's
Yeah.
so many cool ideas going
Yeah.
on that you could riff on. Like it's completely wild.
There's something we say a lot on the show, and it's that it's a miracle that Dreams even exists, because just thinking of it on a theoretical level, it sounds impossible to do on a console. Like to do what Dreams can do from a creation standpoint, and you know, having the ability to make stuff the way that it makes stuff, like you can make anything. Like there is no limitations at all. Like whatever you want to make, you can do it. And the thought of that actually being possible in the first place is ridiculous. And the fact that it exists is just mental.
I still
Yeah.
like it still blows my mind.
Yeah, that's every day on Twitter. It blows my mind just seeing what everyone's working on. But I made a prediction, and I want to say it to you guys so that you can take it back to the hive, if you will. Okay.
To the
Okay.
hive.
I've said that by the end of this gaming generation, Dreams will be considered the greatest game ever made. That's what
Easy.
that's absolutely. No, I'm being completely serious. It is easily already that to me. As
I was going to say, like, so many of us are already there, and then like so many of our lives become about how do we tell this to people?
Yeah,
I know that's what happened to me. Yeah.
It's, I mean, and you know, we've talked about multiple times, like things like marketing and like, how do you say that to people? Like, how do you get other people to be willing to walk in the door, you know, stop the people who are going to be like, well, I'm not a creative, like there's nothing there for me. And it's like, well, there's
How
stuff for you
about
to
a
play.
million indie games?
Yeah. How
Right?
about basically infinite experiences to inspire you to maybe show that you were creative. I feel like if you have children, now I've said this many times, so people in chat just bear with me. If you have children, it is a disservice if you don't provide them dreams. I truly believe it, because I cannot imagine what the difference in my life it would have made to have this when I was young.
just
Like-
even by dint of it being on a console, it would have been a different
Yeah.
story for me, because I had access to a console when I was younger, but like the PC was not it.
Yeah,
But
it's
like
just-
if you're sitting in the front room and you're just messing about and it's gamified and it becomes a game, like it's a no-brainer, yeah, for kids. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
completely
I
wild.
I mean, that's like,
Go ahead, Tom.
I was gonna say that's one of the biggest passions of MM, and one of the most exciting things we ever do is get dreams into the educational field. Like I remember me and Pete Field, one of our designers, did a talk at BAFTA Young Games Designers like in 2019, and it's just like talking about how accessible this thing is. Like it's like we asked them how many of them had a PS4, and like nearly all of their hands went up. And it was like, well, you can like you show them this, and we obviously had a group of designers that had done stuff in Dreams, but to see their faces light up, that there was this like outlet for creativity that was accessible, and they could play it on the same thing that they play X other game.
Yeah.
It's just such a big thing for it. And we've done local, like some of my favorite things we've ever done is get the younger generation in front of Dreams, and sometimes the stuff they come up with is just silly. It's just like how I never would have ever dreamt of being able to do something like that when I was little. So the potential of what children can do already to give them something like this is just so massive. And it's such an exciting field for Dreams to be in, especially because sorry, go on.
But to add to that, like especially like the generations now are so adapted to technology. Like it's just become such an important part of our lives. Like my nieces and my nephew, they're babies, but they can work an iPad like perfectly.
Yeah.
They can work that thing better than I could. They know all the buttons to press and all the gestures and stuff. So it just becomes so natural to children these days to use technology. So the ability to give them this and for them to start creating with this from such an early age, like it would build that passion for game development or music development or film or whatever the case may be. Just imagine what they could do when they're old with it, because they've grown up with this amazing technology that is so accessible for them to use.
Yeah.
It's
It could
100%.
literally pave
Yeah.
it could pave the future for the next generation of game developers, musicians, and filmmakers.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
100%
we've seen
it,
this
because
year. Yeah. Go on.
no, go-
Sorry, Jen.
I was just saying.
No.
Oh, I was just saying, like the same thing
Happening.
happens with smartphones, right? Like now, like so many, as you were saying, like so many people have grown up with that touch interface that it's completely intuitive to us now, right? Like we don't even think about how to operate it. You just like boom, boom. It's like one of the most direct interfaces ever, and you see so many like forward-thinking games actually now like releasing on mobile, where like they're taking advantage of that like direct touch interface that everybody instinctively knows how to use. And like the controller is like, for a lot of people who've grown up using that technology, exactly the same thing. Like you have the muscle memory of how to work this thing. And so yeah, the idea of a kid who's grown up with that, and then also this controller doesn't just control games, it controls a creative tool. Yeah, it's just like whole new different kinds of minds, right? That a controller can unlock, and that's the whole point of it. Is if it's on a different platform, you get different kinds of people, different kinds of minds, people from like different walks of life than you would just on like one other platform. And you're like, okay, well, what can people who can have one of these platforms do, right? And just a different load of people.
Dreams is like Oh, go ahead, Tom.
So I was just say one of my favorite memories of this year, and we'll remember this, is watching Mystic Vortex get their game in the BAFTA Young Game Designers that they made in Dream. Like Jared Finley, like that was just incredible. We were all cheering. Like it was just so good to see something like this land in the hands of someone like that and achieve like an awesome thing. So I think that's going to be like years away. I'll always be proud of something that I'm involved in, allowed a young person the opportunity to do that and achieve what they did. It was just like so fantastic. So yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I mean, I really see a place because there was somebody, I can't remember who it was, but there was a user who was using dreams for like medical purposes. They were like, all their creations had to do with like what they were studying in biology, and they had created like a almost like a neural network that fired, and it was, I can't remember who this
So
dreamer
good.
who this dreamer was, but it reminded me of this some like biological institute, maybe like time is, whatever, but I think it was like maybe 10 years ago. They had created a game where you were like putting together different how would it's like elements, genes, and everything, to like, you were just trying to find matching pairs. And it was something that they do all the time, but they gave it to gamers. And like a
Yes.
gamer actually got a like honorary scholarship to MIT by cracking something having to do with cancer. And it's just like by doing something that they never thought to do. And the idea of something like that, and more the learning aspect of dreams, the educational powerhouse that is dreams, like something like that is possible depending on how long someone's willing to work on, what they're building. And every day we see people doing all types of crazy stuff. So, I guess where I would want to go next, and this could be a very personal, well, it is a very personal question, but is there something about working, not just with but just gaming in general? Is there something that it's different than what you thought it would be? Not worse, not bad, but just something where it's like, oh, I didn't think it would be like this, but it is. And is there an element like that for you guys?
That's a good question. That's a good question, because everybody definitely has these like preconceived notions of how it'll be before they get in.
Yeah.
I guess like one of the things that it's probably not like what I didn't expect, because like I think it makes me sound a bit more like myself than I am, but I had a pretty good assumption of this anyway. But it's like the speed of things. Like I think it's one of the preconceived, like it's one of the worst like perceptions in the gaming community, that things are quick, or it like even relatively quick. Like things take a long time, and like there's a lot of work that goes in, and like I think you only really know, you can only really truthfully know that once you work on them. Like it isn't a couple of weeks thing, it's a couple of months. It's not a couple of months thing, it's half a year. You just need patience, and that's actually like one of the fun things about dreams, is that it's teaching people that you can't make a game in 3 weeks. Like unless you like, obviously some people can, but you can't make a AAA quality RPG FPS
have it
in 3
QA,
weeks.
have it
exactly
localized, like all that kind of stuff.
It's all those little things. Like the localization is a great one. Like I think if you want to run a whole like platform, you need localization. You need that in everything. So it's like our jams have to be planned months in advance. So I think it's one of those things that it's just when you can with enough thermo. Sorry, I've got the chat up. I think like once I think you really get a good look at how long things take. But at the same time, you see how much work goes into it, because people are willing to take the time to work on these things. Because like you tell someone, oh, it's going to take you 6 months, 9 times out of 10, if it's not, you're probably like that. But like these people work on these things for years to make them happen. And so and then to have like the moment that something comes out, it's exciting for like a week or two.
Like, next thing, go.
Thing. Yeah. And we kind of get that with our events. Like we we got off, but we were on the high of Dreamscom. We're like, right, we need to start thinking about Halloween. Like, and literally, there was a blur of a time when
And
we were like, Dreamscom was great.
Dreamscom was like months of planning for like 5 days. But it was wild. It was like fully worth it. But it's huge. And there's so many things going on all at the same time and all overlapping to make sure that as a live game, you've constantly got fresh things. You have to be like 5 steps ahead on everything. It's absolutely wild. But yeah, like my answer would be very similar to Tom's, except maybe slightly more specific on what I was doing. Because I obviously came in from media and I was running a magazine. I was the editor of a magazine. I've been doing it for a long time. And I was always in control of everything, like down to the last like page and PDF and, you know, sending off to the printers and everything. And, you know, anything that I wanted to change could be done like immediately. Because it was like an incredibly small team and, you know, an incredibly like intense environment and like separated off. But like joining it's like a big studio. I mean, small in relative terms of the game industry, right? But like getting bigger. And it's like you have to collaborate with everyone all the time. You can't just be like, oh, I'll make a decision and then do this. Because like Tom says, like everything has a knock-on effect. So you have to be really, really aware. And it's something I'm still learning because I'm still new to the job. So you can't just be like, oh yeah, we'll do this. Because then it's like, that's how you get feature creep, or like that's how, you know, some like 3 more weeks get added onto something because it's like, well, if we want to do this, then we need to make sure that it's localized into 13 languages and so needs to be aware and all this. And it's like, it's a big ship. And then, you know, it's also under the bigger ship of PlayStation and then Sony. So it's like there's a lot to think about when you're doing anything. But like the amazing side of that I had like very little idea about still, like even when I worked as a journalist, was the concept of producers, which is my favorite thing. Because when I was, you know, working previously, you know, it was my responsibility to manage the team and manage the team's time and making sure everything was getting done on time, in addition to writing a magazine and working with freelancers and doing all of this stuff. And it's like actually too much and things fall between the cracks all the time. And like meeting our producer, and specifically our producer Jamie on Community, right, Tom, was an amazing experience because it's Jamie's job to literally be the glue that holds everything together, constantly be in communication with everyone and like making sure everybody's deadlines align, making sure everything that needs to get done is being done by a certain time. She's the person you go to if you're like, oh, hey, like actually this has taken longer than realized. Like, what can we do about it? Or like this unexpected thing has come in and like it's going to throw off everybody's schedule and we need to like sort it out. And like producers are the people that go, right, okay, let's like swivel all this around. And it's amazing to have those people like on board to sort that out. Like mad respect to our producers because it's unbelievable. They are massively the lifeblood of everything. And like I feel like I didn't know much about the role before because they're like the invisible people in the background making sure everything gets done quietly. And so I never really interviewed many of them in my time and things like that, really, because it was more like designers and stuff like that. So yeah, like that was mind blowing to be like.
But do you
Awesome
get
person.
terrified then when there is a release date for something like Dreamscom, for instance, when you announce the date that it's coming out? Like, do you just get instantly terrified that something might go wrong and it's not going to release on
I think
time?
our producer probably instantly gets terrified. Looks at all of us as we're like, oh, we should do this and this. And she's like, no, feature creep.
Yeah. I think there is an art to announcing a release date, like, and it's like we're all gamers. We all know what the problems of release date. It's like you announce something far too early, and it's like, well, you can't put a date on something like that. That's why we have like historically, like ever since like the past since streams went into early access, and they obviously like the beta was like a year. It was coming out in 2016, and then it just didn't. And then like ever since like early access and beta, we've played it close to our chest until we're ready to be like, there's no way it can't come out. So like the update, like their dreams, like let's talk about the 232 patch, right? Like we detailed it, but we've not put a date on it yet. It's soon, but like we don't want to give people a date because we don't want to then have to move it.
Yeah.
And like the last one that comes to mind was the audio update. Last year?
Yeah, it was
Was it
last
last
year.
year?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It was like we'd initially said, I can't remember what we'd said. We'd said August or something, and we couldn't do it. And it was like one of the first times since I'd started that we'd given a date something and we had to move it because there just wasn't enough time. So, and with the same with our events, like we have a release date for All Hallows Dreams, like, and we have had it we've had it on a piece of paper, but we're only now at the point where we'd be like, right, it's definitely going to be up to this date. Touch wood.
Yeah.
I've said it now. It has to. Jamie's just felt like a gust of wind on her back.
Yeah,
like,
he can
Chill.
feel it. He's like, what?
cramp.
I sense something.
Yeah. So I think we're really good. We're getting really good now these days at like giving dates when we're 100% ready. And if we do then give a date, then our team is very much like it's happening. To the rest of the team, it's like it's
That's the thing.
because it's disappointing if it moves, obviously. And it was one of the fun little jokes we had with like our beta dreamers and our early access dreamers when people would be like, "Here's a date," like X could be out date. We were like, "We're gonna be there on that day,
Ready
we're gonna
for
be
it.
waiting for a release." So I think that there's an art, and I don't think anyone's ever gonna really nail it. But the joys of doing something in dreams is obviously like there's no like once you press, all you need to do is press that publish button, right? It's there.
Yeah, that's it.
So there's no, you're not like then if you go into like the bigger world, like the PlayStation is like marketing and stuff. We don't need that in dreams. But it is exciting when you see people ramp up their marketing like campaigns on social media and stuff. We get really like it's really exciting.
Yeah,
and
that's
obviously
always
like
hype.
like verbal creative with like his Topher Phoebes work and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I love
it's always
seeing
really
people
and
like
I'm
that.
yeah, it's so much fun to see it adopt. But yeah, like the minute you say, "Oh, it's coming out on X date," it's a lot more real. And it just makes everything a lot more scary.
Deadlines, man. But like consistency is everything, right? Like, and that's part of like building a trusting relationship with like the community and among the community. Like that's the idea. It's like if you promise something and it's gonna be that date, like that's sacred above everything, right? Because you want everybody to like not be disappointed and to feel like they can trust us to do what we say that we're gonna do. Like I feel consistency is so important with everything, and like even down to editorial. It's like, you know, if I say I'm going to do something every Friday, I need to do that. Like it's about like meeting expectations because like this is like one of people's main hobbies, right? And like a huge part of their lives, and like you want to be able to deliver for them. Like there's the most fun is when we get to put something out there on time and everyone's hyped and waiting for it, and then you know, and you feel so great that you've managed to hit that goal. I remember watching Dreams Fest and being so excited for them because they'd done the same thing, right? Of like they'd said it and then they launched it live, and I was like, I know what that feeling's like. It's awesome. Enjoy it. So good.
Yeah, that was
And it's like,
that was a lot of work for them. I'm just glad I was just glad to be the voice of North America and be like, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm back to Dino. And like,
great job as well. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
Everyone's voices in like all the continents were such an amazing addition.
Yeah,
I thought Dreams Fest was just like so mind blowing. Like we like I think if you watch back our interview with Bearded Cats at Dreamscom, like our reactions are so genuine. Like we obviously we never want to underestimate the community because you guys just like blow our minds literally on a daily basis. But I think like we had just not taken into like an account on like the ambition and what that meant for the project. So when we were running around that first biome and everything, we were just
Africa,
like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So exciting.
I was not
Um,
expecting such a huge thing with Dreams Fest. Like when Dreams Fest was announced, I was like, oh cool, like they'll do a stage and they'll have all the Dreams musicians make songs for it and it'd be like a little show. It'd be really cool. But then like I
yeah,
opened it and it was like, oh wow, okay, so there's the whole world
Yeah.
and I can travel the whole world and it was just incredible.
yeah.
Like it I can imagine that their goal started off really small, like, oh, let's just make a stage and have people do this. And I imagine it just growed with
Nope.
idea after idea after idea and it just went crazy.
No, it
This
was
is
big.
Yeah, like,
It was
I was,
big off the
Oh,
jump.
yeah,
oh, was it really?
yeah,
It
it
was big
was.
off the jump. It was
I think like
ginormous.
Shoot for the moon.
it was
Crazy.
opening that like world map, and it was so brilliant. I just can't praise it enough.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
don't
well
think
made.
I don't think anyone at the studio would like begrudge me saying that it was actually just really inspiring for us as well.
Yeah.
Like playing that and doing events ourselves. This is, not the first event done in Dreams, but like certainly the first event of that scale to the scale that like, equal to or exceeding one of our own events. And it was massively inspiring to like see the ideas that they had for like the user experience going through it. Like it really personally inspired me, and it landing just after Dreamscom as well. It immediately made me think like, right, I want to step my game up for Halloween. Like we've just had Dreams Fest, and it's like, okay, well, what else can we bring to our events? Because like these guys are doing the most. So it's been like hugely inspiring for us, and like so hopefully like some of that will come through a little bit in what we're doing for Halloween. And like it's just great like to have the community be so brilliant at what they do that it actually pushes us to make us feel like, yeah, you know what, incredible job, and we want to like one up you again, and then be like, right, what else you got? Like like, and just keep pushing each other all the time to like just do more and more like cool innovative stuff. Like that's the fun of Dreams, is that we can have this like back and forth conversation of like, oh, you're doing that, okay, we could do that, we could do something. Yeah. Like so like what an amazing thing to experience that whole thing. It was such an event. I got a pizza, I got the beers in. I watched the opening stream, then I played a bunch myself, then I went and watched like everyone else's streams. It was like a whole weekend of like fun, like such a good vibe. It was awesome. Love
Fees and tanks, pizza, beers, winning.
Yep. Yeah, that's the way. I nearly went burgers because of Method's game. But Method's game also had pizza in. I was like, I've got to get something in the face plant sort of universe to eat to be legit for the event.
Let's see here. So I think we're at the winding down point. It has been a lot of fun. When I say winding down, I mean probably still like 10 more minutes, 15. But I want to start it there to make sure y'all know you will have a night once you're done. I'm not gonna drag this out that 3.5 hours like we did for 50.
Oh boy,
but yeah, we were pushing it then to just going hard.
So easy.
It really
is.
So
You can
easy
just talk.
Could
like,
literally just talk for hours. I mean, there's so many subjects you could pick up on Dreams because of how vast and amazing it is. I could literally just sit for hours on end just talking about it. I mean, that's why I love doing the show every week. It gives me that opportunity to get it all out.
Go out, yeah. It's like one of the interesting things about our streams is like we obviously still. I know the chat's always like, go for a longer stream. It's like it's good to set yourself like some windows. There's an idea for a Halloween stream that Jen and I we'll do it, but it's not really fleshed out yet. But like I could see that one being like a long stream, just because it's going to be really silly.
We just have fun,
but it's really exciting. Yeah, so I think it is important to have a window just for your own sake. My voice, you can feel like you go on for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, especially if it's a passion. No, sorry. I was just going to say, especially if it's a passion, like, it's really important. But even your job as well, it's really important to protect your time. And like, that's something I've been thinking about lately. And I think I wrote a little something about it in the last newsletter we sent out, where it's like, hey, we went on holiday recently as a studio and, just like had some time off. And like, I wanted to say in that newsletter, like, hey, all of you out there who are like working on a bunch of your dreams projects and like playing the game a lot and doing all this, like make sure to take breaks because it does worry me when you see, you know, like members of the community and they're like, oh man, like I'm feeling really tired or like a little bit burnt out. And I think it's so important to like remember that breaks are good. Not doing it all the time is good. Like obviously it's fun to play dreams, but you know, you're also expending an enormous amount of like creative energy and it's really draining. It's not just like a game that you pop on and like zone out. Like you're all coming up with ideas all the time, and like we like us as creatives as well, we know how like draining that can be. So like it's good to like take your foot off the gas sometimes and be like, you know what, actually I'm going to take a little break. Like it always like makes me happy to see people saying, you know what, actually I'm going to take a moment and just chill and do something else for a bit and come back renewed and feeling creative again. I just think that's an important message to get out there is like, just, don't feel like you have to be making all the time. Nobody's going to forget you. We'll all be here when you come back.
Be here. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's
when we had the writers directors for Fat Man on here, they talked about it as being like personal velocity, as in not thinking that you like had to get it out now or judging yourself by what other people are putting out. Like your projects have a personal velocity and they move at the speed of you, and you can take a break.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's important.
It's so inspiring to see people take control of their own things like that. And I see it a lot in the community and seen it the past few years. Like when people are tired, they get tired, and there's no like, the worst thing that I'd ever want to know is that someone's like burning themselves out trying to get like,
and like pushing them through it. It's like nobody's gonna forget you. We're all friends here. like and like you're gonna be so much happier and better if you know take that break and slow it down. And it's really a sign of just like a healthy game developer. Like we're all developers of all kinds here, right? And the professional thing to do is, you know, give yourself breaks. And so it's always cool when you see people taking proper care of themselves.
Jamie, sometimes people need to rest. Sometimes the whip cracks just a little too hard. No.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. It is definitely important, because I do, something in me gets really sad whenever I hear someone like, you see like the Twitter post and you're just like, oh man, they're burning out. And then you just see it gradually get worse and worse as it's like the week goes on, and it's like, just stop. You
see it happen with other games as well, where maybe streamers or something, they play like a certain game too long and they kind of burn out on it. But like I think Dreams is unique in that it's a game and a social tool, but also a creative tool. And so it's just a lot of types of energy that you're using. So like you need to be extra kind to yourself when you're playing it, and just be like, you know, actually sometimes if I'm feeling a little off, that's because I'm like making all of this cool stuff and it's great, but you know, you're only human. You're an artist, and artists need rest.
Unless you're Magma Monster, who I believe just referred to sleep as something that's needed for the week.
Magma. That's why Magma always has those glasses on, so you can't see.
Yes, you can't see the bag under his eyes. Yeah,
you can't see the whole airplane load of luggage that's hanging out beneath his eyeballs. But so let's take a moment then and de-stress by stressing out. And let's get back to our Legend of Zelda conversation we were having before we went live, okay? Because we need to go ahead and just should I? I mean, do you want to? Because I feel
I'll get into it, man.
Like, okay, all right.
Let's
go.
Let's
do it.
I mean, I was just expressing my correct opinion that Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is the greatest game ever made.
Well, first
then. But then, you know, we had some feedback.
Yeah,
Let's go. Let's go.
I don't agree. One, because
Right,
of
lay it
dreams.
out.
That's first and
Okay.
foremost.
Yeah,
Okay,
fine.
so I'm starting at a winning position.
All right. I guess. Gosh, I guess
I mean,
I have to say you're correct.
Yeah, you kind of have no choice at this point, Jen. Do you? You've got.
I mean, I am. You know, I am wearing a dreams.
Yeah.
A dreams top,
Yeah.
not a Zelda top.
See-
so I've already
Yeah.
put myself.
You've
in a losing
solidified that, I'm
position.
afraid.
Yeah.
My stance isn't that Breath of the Wild is bad. My stance
Okay.
is more so that Breath of the Wild, because Nintendo fans have so little to celebrate on a grand scale, they get, and you can't say anything about Nintendo games. People will come to their with the lead vest. They're ready
They're
to
coming
jump on
now.
any
I can
bomb.
hear them.
I've had them come for me in this. I'm used to it. I'm fine with it.
Nation B is going to
but the
riot.
thing
He's
is-
already saying that it's awesome.
See, that's what I'm saying. But for me, it's more so like Zelda Breath of the Wild is the best game Nintendo fans have had to play for a while. It's not the best. It's not the best game ever. It's like I'm glad. I'm glad.
The best Zelda game, though.
I'm glad Link can finally jump on a button press. If that's what you're talking about, I mean, hey, I'm all about it. But now it can
that's
be
like 9 out of 10 minimum. Like, the jump, a jump button. You're
But
like, yep.
but now people are like, if you have climbing in your game, now it's Breath of the Wild like. I'm like, yo, they did that before. Breath of the Wild. It's just that, you know, people, as we were talking about the like, people are accused of being like Sony fanboys and X boys and, you know, the Nintendo fanboys, all that stuff. But it's just like everybody gets checked. That's and I love to check those people, but when it comes to Nintendo, I feel like this is where you have to check people.
Yeah,
This is where it's just like, okay, look, it's great. It's fantastic.
It's so influential though. And I think the climbing is like the wrong thing to focus on. I think it's been massively influential in that area because it did that well, right? And it gave you a reason to climb. There's that amazing talk about like how they designed the horizon with these triangles, right? And these points that you want to go and see what's up there. And the Korok system for that, absolutely incredible, giving you a reason to explore. And like you see that influence in like so many games that have come out now. Like you say, like ad nauseum, where it's like, oh my gosh, give it a rest with the climbing. But it wasn't even that. Like the systemic nature of it, right? With the elements and like the way like everything works as you expect it to, like in the real world. Like you will get zapped by lightning if you run around with a metal sword on your back. Like it's like next level. Like what other game is doing that, right?
For all
like,
of us normal people walking around with swords on our back, yeah, I totally agree.
You know,
We spoke about it earlier.
It's just-
Jen has swords.
I was gonna say, you know, I don't know about you lot, but I always carry my faithful sword with me wherever I go. I thought that was just a normal thing in 2021. Why are we judging?
No, that's not possible for me. That's not possible for my those of my persuasion. That's no. But I'm happy y'all get to do it.
What we're saying is agree to disagree on Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, and see that's the thing. Like my wife only plays Zelda. That's all. That's
Okay.
the extent
series?
of her gaming.
Just
Yes,
Zelda games.
I've seen every single one of them played more times than I think I've seen any game played because my wife only plays those. Oh, and Okami. She loves Okami.
Fair.
Yeah, of
Taste.
course, of course.
Taste.
Great shout.
Yeah. So I mean, I like even
Good
the.
taste.
But there's like
Good taste.
what was it? It was Okami and one more. She did play Child of Light. She which was brilliant.
What a
I loved
game.
it.
Yeah, Child of
Yeah.
Light is really, really good.
It's nice and a more niche pick
good.
there.
Yeah, but I keep
What's
trying.
her favorite? What's her favorite Zelda then? She's the full
Majora's.
Zelda person. Oh, to be fair, good choice.
It is a good
And
choice.
again, like massively influential, right? Like absolutely amazing what it did there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll allow it. It's fine. people say Ocarina of Time, and I'm like, no.
No, I mean, for
No,
me,
Yeah,
it's definitely
no.
Breath of the Wild, 100%.
What about you, Tom?
I love that game.
I'm the weird kid. I'm like Link Between Worlds.
Oh yeah, but see,
Ah.
that's such a good
It's a
one.
great game.
That
though.
is a
It's so
really
fun.
good one. Yeah,
is my
that
favorite
that
Zelda
mechanic
game.
is
The one
so
on the DS, right?
yeah.
The 3D.
Yeah, where it's like
the
flat
3DS.
on the walls. So good.
Like
Yeah,
that was
man.
so
Like,
so cool.
So do you all just dislike
Oh,
Wind
good.
Waker? Is that like the
No,
dark horse of
I
the
love Wind
because
Waker.
I'd say
like
Wind
Twilight
Waker is
Princess,
probably the one I like
and
I
Skyward Sword.
had most fun with. I would say
It's-
probably.
That's the one that I really hope gets a remaster at some point.
Yes.
soon.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm dying for. To be fair, that's why I was so excited about
yeah.
Dream Sea Islands recently. That Fluffy
Yeah.
was asking
Yes.
in Kenya thing, because I was like, this is like, I wrote a little bit about it in the roundup. I was just like, yeah, this is like going to be like a little kind of like Wind Waker style thing where you're just island hopping and having fun.
Waker Dreams Edition.
Yeah, exactly. Love it.
Yeah.
Don't tell Nintendo.
good.
They'll hate that.
Oh yes, they
Oh,
will.
boy.
But with that, ladies and gentlemen, because the only other thing I can think of to really go into, because we're trying to just have a good time today, guys. We're not trying to get exclusives around here.
I think we're succeeding.
Yeah.
We're succeeding in
I
good
was
times.
enjoying myself.
Yes.
Having a good time.
See, and that's why we have to stop, because you're enjoying
We
yourself.
do.
So we need you to
Yep.
come back. We need to leave you with that feeling like you have more to say.
We're gonna go have that break, and then we'll come back refreshed.
Yes. Have your break. Come
Yeah.
back refreshed.
Yeah, and I'll be in touch. I see now, being that it's come up twice, I'm going to have to give the Matrix course online. I'm gonna have to start offering it up for people because I can't understand. I can't.
Well, I'm gonna
understand.
have to enroll because I can't understand, man.
Yeah,
So,
hey, that's
gonna
why
have to
it is a
teach me.
service that is needed.
It is a service.
Clearly, I
It's
did not watch correctly.
I don't
Well,
watch correct. My eye's broken.
Yeah, you gotta watch
did.
it like an angle.
It will be a gift to the world, Will. It will be a gift to the world.
I honestly, I'm starting to. I've just had to take so much over the last 2 weeks. That people have been trying to beat me down, and I'm just like, no, I'm not. I'll be like Hodor out this month. I will hold it. I will hold it. I will hold it till that is the hill. That is the
Hold
hill. I will
That
die on
trailer
it.
sure was a trailer. That trailer sure exists.
Ah,
Doesn't
man.
it?
Oh
That
my god.
trailer, it's fine.
When
Fine.
no, we're just no. We're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave
We're
it.
having a good time.
We're having a great time. We're having a great time. And Jen, I mean, you were saying you were nervous about it. You seem ready to
Yes.
go.
I know. Well, I mean, it's just because this is such a nice vibe, right? But I've not done a lot of like speaking on the record since I joined MMs. Oh, I want to make sure that it all goes well. Got my buddy Tom with me. So I feel safe when
Isn't-
Tom's around. We did the streams, and I was like, it's okay. If Tom's here, it's okay. He's my lucky charm.
Isn't it? Jen's so freaking good. Like it'll be a year soon, won't it? Right? Like since you started.
How?
Like
So quick.
how?
Impies
But like
again. Too.
everything. Yeah. Yeah. You talking going back to like to release it stuff. We've had our first Impies meetings, so it's like that's how much in advance.
That's how far ahead you go.
Wow.
That's fun. But yeah, like Jen, ever since Jen started, like she's done such a good job at like championing both Dreams and like the creators, and it's just been so exciting. And it's really like the episode has really brought everything to life. Like the roundups are like hugely important ever since they started because it's a nice like just this really exciting thing. It's a really good place to highlight every kind of dream that we have. And then obviously all the coverage on DreamsCon was just freaking amazing. Like the Insider magazine was so cool, and all the coverage and the streams happened because of Jen. So I just wanted a chance to say, well done, Jen.
Yeah,
It's just
I
more-
literally would have been completely lost without you. Obviously, I had no idea what I was doing.
I mean, from a community's perspective, you've just fitting in so well. Like, I feel like you've been here from the beginning. Like, you know, I've been following Dreams for years, and like I've been following all the media molecules for years since playing Little Big Planet and stuff. And I feel like you've been here forever. Like, you've fitted in so well. There was a missing piece in the jigsaw puzzle, and you've just slotted right in there. And yeah, We love you, Jen.
Man, thank you. Like no, come on, I'm not reddish boat. Let's calm down. I man, like it's just been like the best, and it's honestly like the best part of waking up in the morning is just being like I get to come and hang out with everyone in and with the Dreams community. It's the best. I've been lurking so long essentially as a journalist that I was like, right, let's go do this for like full time and actually announce myself. Like it's just been the absolute best. And like on the subject of the Insider, like thank you so much, Tom. I am really passionate about that thing, and I really want it to be awesome, right? Like it has a long way to go. It's brand new. We didn't have anything like that set up at all, and it's still just me like running the editorial arm. So like there's a lot of improvements that could be made to it, and I would really, really, really like Dreamers' feedback on like the blog in its current state, which is like just my experimental like 1.0 version of like, okay, let's try with these kind of categories and this kind of stuff and what's going on. But like I would really love people's feedback, and whether we do it on a podcast another time with you guys, whether we have people send stuff in, if people want to email impsider@mediamolecule.com with like suggestions of like what it's doing well and also what could be improved, like that would be so good, because at the end of the day that blog is about promoting the Dreams community and the creators in the Dreams community and all of the Dreams available in Dreams, and I want to make sure it can be the best thing it can be, and we're really at that point now where we've got a few things up where it's like, okay, I think it's time to get some feedback on like how it's been so far. So come at me, like come on, do your worst, like let's go, like please like get in touch and like tell me what you think we could be doing better essentially, because that would be super useful, and I really want that to become like a champion for the community. I was always really passionate about being like, this is a really niche amazing community that doesn't get a lot of coverage, and someone should be doing proper media coverage that these creators deserve. So like, please everybody help me make it great for you. That's all I want it to do is to be useful to the community.
So wholesome. I love it. Well, everybody get in touch with Jen and give us some feedback. That'd be amazing.
Yes. So I know you're all great at feedback. I read all like feedback comments on Dreams and all this kind of stuff. So I know we're all like good and helpful critics of each other here. So I'm up for that.
And Tom, do you have anything you wanted to add before you look so surprised?
Yeah, what's your sign off?
You want to talk to me now?
Anything you want to plug?
You're gonna sign off with Jen's amazing message.
Plug your stuff.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us back on. It's so much fun. Sorry we had to delay by a couple of weeks.
Life happens.
It's just so good to be able to chat with you on such a level. It's one of the things I have always loved and still love and will always love about what we do at is we're so like on the ground with you. We're I feel as much part of the community as you guys do. And like it isn't anything. I've said it like a million times now, but Dreams is nothing without the community. Like literally, and also figuratively, like because we do everything in the game for you guys. So that is why like things like feedback are more important than a lot of people probably think, because it keeps us going, it keeps us like understanding what we need to do, what we need to change. Big shout out to the team. They're doing some amazing work. The live team now, like everything they're doing is really exciting.
Oh my gosh.
Whether that's Halloween, whether that's whatever we end up doing for the MPs, whether it's the changes that are coming in the next few updates.
I don't know how you keep it in. I don't know how you do it. Because I'd just be so excited. I'd be like, guys, everything's coming. This is what's coming. We got this. We got this. We got this. It's all coming.
And then everyone would hate you.
Like if you think about, we showed Ancient Dangers at Dreamscom. If you think about like that is now a couple of months back, you think how well further along that is now. Like that's as teasers I'm gonna get. Like that looks extremely exciting.
Looks extremely
So I think
exciting.
you're going to enjoy that a lot. So yeah, there's that team. There's obviously all of the live team, like all the fixes. Like Liam and Bogdan have really done an amazing job on all these like these iterations and additions coming to create mode, which is really exciting because we've obviously not had an update to create mode for a long time. And it was really nice because we put out that first those first few Trello cards. Well, a few, I know there was a lot, but like the Trello card, the for 232, and we were like, cool. This isn't like the big update. There's obviously loads more in the future bits, but like these are some nice little subtle changes. Everyone was like so hyped. We were like, okay, cool.
I remember messaging Tom like, "Oh my god, look at the reaction to all these Trello cards."
I was like, okay.
It's a massive update. Like the features that you're bringing on 232 is huge. Like, don't undersell it. It
Liam
is
and
such
Bogdan,
a huge upgrade.
In their new roles, they've gone so hard on like quick wins, we call them. Like, what can we do to just immediately like add value to create? Like, they've been massively heralding that. So like, huge shout outs to them.
Every time you see an update go out, the next few updates, create mode, it's all Liam and Bogdan. And it's just awesome. Reg Boat is in the chat, so we need to round of applause for Reg Boat. So there's that team. There's obviously the Ancient Nation. There's the Tren team, John.
Oh my god, Tren.
And his cohorts.
I can't wait for Tren.
Look forward now to Tren's Day on Wednesday.
Yes, Tren's Day
coming out, which is really exciting.
I have to say on Tren actually something that like I will say that I think is cool to say. But like obviously, watch me closely, quick, Jack. I'm not blinking. So when we were at Dreamscom, I talked to John a little bit about it, and he was saying obviously it's really exciting because it's been picked up properly by which means I can have a little bit of a team helping me out on it. And so we have someone called Stephen helping John out. And I will just say, like, if you thought you saw like cool levels at Dreamscom, Stephen, the designer, has come in, and there is so much stuff even since Dreamscom that I have seen that is like, oh my god, this is so cool. So I will just say that is like already Tren is like next level because John's got like the help of Stephen now. He's got Martin working on UI and stuff, and it's just looking so exciting. But I love Tren. I'm so excited.
You've got me even more hype now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So the chat people like, and Jen, I don't know actually if you know. I don't know if you know was Steve Big Guns in LVP.
Of course,
he's like a myth. So for old school people, it's Steve Big Guns.
Yeah, it's Steve Big Guns. He's back and
with his big guns.
He's quite literally bringing out the big guns for Trent. I mean, not literally. There's no guns.
It's still very wholesome.
It's in America.
But,
Can you imagine if we like turned around the next day and we were like, it's now a first-person shooter
on a train.
On a train. Yeah.
So it's so there's like Tren and Ancient Dangers are really exciting like pieces of content. Obviously Halloween is going to be super scary in the way. So the team are just obviously led by the person that is Abby, the machine.
The machine.
She's just fantastic. Like everything that happens in like what we call the live game. And that's obviously her, like she's leading that team. It's just fantastic to continue to work with her on all these things.
I don't know where she like magics up time in the day at all.
She just does.
She just manages to like produce like time.
She conjures time out of
honestly,
thin air.
it's like how can
she's working on a different plane.
She's ascended to like
big up abs.
Big up abs.
Yeah, so it's fantastic. Like everyone's doing an amazing job. So it's really, I hope everyone gets really excited for the next few months.
Absolutely.
We're always Tom, we are always excited because we know that Dreams is a never-ending working machine that will just continuously be updated with even more cool stuff the longer we go with it.
Exactly.
So we are always excited. We are always looking to the future, and we can't wait for everything that you guys are going to bring to this amazing community-driven platform. I love it so much. I can't express it. It's just too much joy. It's too
I love
much.
it too, man. We all love it.
And we can all celebrate the end of year 2 at the MPs next year.
Yes.
We'll
Indeed.
start at year 3.
It's like every year gets more and more wild. Like, it's been such an amazing year, but I'm not gonna lie. There are moments in the year where I keep seeing as the year goes on, like more and more stuff comes out, and I'm like, this is amazing. And I'm also like, God, how on earth? Like, it's gonna be so
Over the top.
competitive. There's like more and more incredible things every year. It's just everyone is constantly bringing their A game with like whatever they're working on, whatever they're releasing. Oh my gosh, it's completely wild. Don't know how we're gonna fit it all in. Crazy.
Somehow.
Somehow.
So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to say goodbye until tomorrow, where we have another episode. So, we're not going to be gone for too long. We're just going to take a little break. We'll be back
Take a little
tomorrow.
break.
But thank
Refresh
you,
the mind
Tom,
break.
Jen, for coming through. It's always great to
Thank you
have
so
you.
much.
You're welcome back. As I tell everyone, you're welcome back anytime. Just say, hey, I want to talk about some stuff. And you got it.
Yeah.
Just give us the date, say when. And it doesn't have to be when it's nighttime for y'all. If y'all want if you like, if some
chilling.
all right. I just know
Nice.
something. Y'all
Really
just getting
think
off
nice.
work. I don't want to, I don't want it to be like, oh, I'm gonna get off work and go work. Like, it's, I don't
Get off
just,
work and talk about work for 2
No,
hours. Yeah, that
like,
sounds great.
Literally,
Fine.
like we were saying, like you just, you try to switch off because it's healthy, but like a lot of the time, we're just in dreams anyway, or we're chatting to everyone
Yeah.
anyway. Like, it's
And-
just, it's more than a job. It's too fun. It's just a community.
and Tom, you're disconnecting for 2 weeks, right?
Yes, you
I
are.
will, I'll be around, but yeah, I will after tomorrow. The rest of the team are going to look after things, bits and pieces.
I mean, I can tell
Um,
him to leave you alone if you want
Yeah,
me to.
tell him to leave him alone. He's
Yo,
getting married.
nobody hit up
He's getting
Tom,
married.
okay? Tom has
Leave
other
Tom
things he
alone.
needs to do.
No
He's
more.
getting married.
Yeah.
He's
Tom
going
is
home,
getting
he's a family
married.
man.
He's give the man his priorities. Come on.
Let him go home and be a family man.
Yes. Yes. And I mean,
I'm
I want to say something, but I'm not going to. You go and handle your business. You get married.
No,
You
say
do
it.
everything. You do
Say
everything.
it.
Well, no, it was just the fact that as soon as you said he's getting married, the viewer count dropped from 70 to 69, and it somehow became funnier. Like, I just noticed it as it was happening
my
real time,
God.
and I was like,
Nice. Nice.
we lost one.
he's not single.
But
Excellent.
No, I will be. There is, of course, the what if finale is happening the Wednesday after that we get married. So both Amy and I have our priorities. We have to get married, and then we need to watch what if. So
Get that
You
out
know.
of the way, and then
yeah,
focus
Get
on
the
the
wedding
main
out of the
mission.
way and focus on
There are more
Marvel. Yes.
things. Yeah.
awesome.
No, I will. Yeah, I'll be. So yeah, Ali's going to look after the streams for 2 weeks. This to make it like we've got Bogdan doing the stream next week. So there's plenty. There'll be. You won't even miss me.
Oh, we
Oh,
will.
we
Tom.
will.
We'll
Come on.
always miss
Come
you, Tom.
on.
Come on. You are the
Yeah.
face.
I said-
You are the face of the community streams.
It's true.
I said that for the ego. I said that for my ego.
Come on.
Thank
Come
you.
on. Give it to
Thank
me.
you.
Give it to me.
I feel like Thomas and Lila are equally the faces of the streams at
Yes.
this point.
Yeah, you'll miss
Yeah.
them. You'll miss them.
I'll miss
more.
them too. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Like,
So
the whole
they're-
gang's
yeah.
gonna be gone.
And
Yeah.
I'm away. Yeah. That's,
we have 2 molecules now. Next, we have to have 3. We're slowly
Each
growing.
episode, we grow.
It's gonna
Yes.
get more and more chaotic.
molecule.
More and more
Oh, I love
chaotic.
Yeah.
You get all the
Oh,
molecules in a small space, and it.
Let's just get to the point
Crazy.
where we have the whole studio on the podcast
Yeah.
simultaneously. Be fantastic.
It'll just be like hi, and then it's just a cacophony. Of,
Oh my gosh.
Let me tell
Okay,
you.
so you should get bogged down. You should get bogged down on the podcast if you want some like proper nice
Oh.
like sonic listening. We were in a Teams call the other day, and like something went wrong, and Bogdan had his guitar around. So everyone was like, "Bogdan, play us a song while we wait." And Bogdan was just like jamming out and everyone was dancing.
That's
So
brilliant.
yeah,
It was
it's
so
rad.
good.
He's
Awesome.
great. He'll do like an easy listening soundtrack.
Beautiful.
Indeed.
As everybody talks simultaneously, we'll have a nice
Yeah,
soundtrack to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant.
And
Well, yeah, we'll work out who's going to be on with us next. We'll have to.
Yeah,
show off
we'll
stuff.
go around and prod people. See if they
Yeah,
want
just
to.
be like, hey, do you want to be on the show? You want to be on the show? You want to be on the show?
Yeah,
Be like, it's great. We just talk about grilled cheese.
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time.
and Zelda's.
And Zelda.
Exactly.
grilled cheese,
Like-
Zelda, and how Matrix is the best ever, right?
Well,
no,
Cool.
just
So
slipping.
we're
in
going to
there.
go now. Thank you,
On that
everybody.
bombshell,
for tuning.
Yes, we're gonna go ahead and send it over
Oh,
to It's All Star. And
Yay!
Nice.
once we're done.
Enjoy.
But yes, everyone enjoy, and as always, thanks again. I really do appreciate that y'all take time out
thank
of the
you,
day to do this.
This was so
Yeah.
much fun. Thank you for making
No,
it.
thank
so
you
fun.
for coming on. We really appreciate it.
All right.
Anytime.
Sweet.
Peace, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.